Bashar.
And to you, good day.
My English is second language, so
My English is not good either.
sorry if it's difficult for you to understand it. I have a contemporary question. I use Instagram for my work, and sometimes I care about how many likes I get. And I always want to have compliments or encouragement from people. But when I don't get that, I feel like I am alone, and I feel like people forget about me. And I don't want to have those feelings inside me. How can
So
I?
you are not following your passion for its own sake, but for what you think it will get you. You have to follow your passion regardless of what people's response is, because there's simply no other choice for you. That's being who you really are. It doesn't matter what other people think or what they give you. You have to follow your passion for its own sake, or you're not being pure about it. You're using it as a condition to get feedback, to be validated by the outside world. The outside world cannot validate you. You can only validate yourself. So as soon as you start simply doing what you love for its own sake, not because of the feedback you're going to get, then it can expand and more people can find you who will support you. But you can't do it to get the support. You have to support yourself. You have to know that you are valid.
Okay, thank you.
Does that help you?
Yes, it did.
Then thank you for allowing us to encourage you.
Our next question is, when I get big job, I get a lot of pressure and anxiety. Even though I want people to know about me more, I get scared and ended up escaping from those situations.
All right, this is the same thing though. You're giving over to the idea of outside validation.
But this pressure made me confused if I want to do it or not.
You are putting the pressure on yourself. You are overwhelming yourself by the way you're thinking about what it is you're doing. That's what we're attempting to tell you. You have to just do what you love to do for its own sake. It doesn't matter what other people think about it.
But it sometimes makes me excited, also worry at the same time.
No, not at the same time. You go back and forth. You cannot be excited and be in anxiety at the same time. You are making a choice to leave your excitement and go into anxiety because you have fear-based belief systems about yourself with regard to that situation. Sometimes you will leave that and go back into excitement. We would simply suggest that you remain in excitement instead of shifting into anxiety. But if you do shift into anxiety, ask yourself why. What is the belief you have about yourself in that situation that makes you go into anxiety? That makes you afraid of something might happen that you do not prefer? Why do you have that definition? Do you understand?
Half of it.
When you go into anxiety, that's because you have a fear-based belief that you think something bad is going to happen. Why do you have that belief? You have to find out why you're holding on to that belief so you can let it go. All anxiety is the result of fear-based beliefs. So you must have fear-based beliefs about yourself that says that it's more likely than not that something bad is going to happen.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
Next question is, when I was little, my dad was abusing me physically. Last
Yes.
time I met him, we were watching a movie, and the movie was about, the movie was about the mom was abusing her daughter.
Yes.
And what he said was, how can she abuse her own child? I can't believe it. He said that multiple times. I was very surprised and confused. Is this because my dad doesn't remember the memory of what he had done, or because he lives in present?
All right? And so, do you wish to hold on to that or let it go?
I want to let it go.
All right. Then forgive. Remember, it doesn't condone the action to forgive. You can still recognize the action that someone took as a negative, fear-based action because they didn't know any better. Because it takes a victim to make a victim. And therefore, being in fear, being victimized himself, he didn't know how to express the idea of connection and love in a positive way. You don't need to continue to connect yourself to that experience. You can move on and have the compassion to forgive because, again, remember, the original definition of forgiveness is to no longer need revenge, to no longer need to punish someone for what they've done. Because that only keeps you connected to the negative energy. And then you are punishing and abusing yourself from that point forward. So do not abuse yourself. Let it go, forgive, and move forward.
So if I forgive, I don't remember this memory anymore?
You may or may not, but you can use it to learn from. If you forgive, you will simply be free to be who you wish to be. Forgiveness is freedom. You are no longer shackled to the idea of a so-called past that is simply no longer your past. If you become a different person, you have a different past. Do you understand this concept?
Yes.
All right. So be the person you prefer to be now, knowing that you can use what you do remember to push you in the direction that is opposite, to push you in the direction of being your true self, to push you in the direction of freedom and love. And therefore, even though he may not have known what he was doing, he still pushed you in that direction. So use it in a positive way and let it go.
Okay.
Does that help you?
It helped me.
All right.
Last question.
Yes.
Can you please describe how my higher self looks like? Or how?
Why do you need to know how your higher self looks? Other than, again, as an orb of light.
Or the character?
For what?
The character?
The character? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What do you mean by character?
Is higher self have a character?
You are part of the higher self. Remember, the higher self is just the portion of you that is still in spirit. And all of you is still in spirit. You're just dreaming that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does the higher self feel to you?
Feel to me.
Speak up.
Feel to me?
How does it feel to you? How does the higher self feel?
Strong.
Strong. Therefore, you are strong, and that is its character. It is loving, unconditionally. It is guiding you, unerringly, by sending you vibrational messages that translate through your body as passion, excitement, creativity, attraction, love. Constantly guiding. It is a guiding light. Follow it. Act on it. It is absolutely an indestructible core of strength. So, be strong.
Okay.
Be yourself.
Last question. I just want to make sure the forgive is letting go.
It is not condoning the idea of a negative perpetration, but it is letting go. It's freeing yourself and disconnecting from that so it doesn't hold you back. Because otherwise, you're just perpetuating it.
How can work on that? How can I work on that?
You don't work on it, you just let it go. Do
Like
you want to
decide-
remain connected to the idea of abusing yourself? Do you want to continue to abuse yourself?
No.
Then stop. That's it. It's that easy.
So
Move forward.
So if I imagine it, I just don't think about it.
Say again.
If I thought about it, I just stop thinking about it.
It's not stopping to think about it. It's letting it go in terms of any effect that it has on you negatively. You are free from it. You can think about it. You can remember it. It doesn't matter. You might forget about it, but it doesn't matter. Remember, it's not about what happens. It's about what you do with what happens that makes the difference in your world. So again, we're not saying that you condone what happened, but the idea is that you can forgive in order to free yourself so that you are not continuing the abuse on yourself. Yes?
Yes.
It's not about forgetting the incident. It's about forgiving yourself.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
You are welcome.
So I heard about your copper ball experiment,
Yes.
where you measure the resonance of a copper ball in one location and another, and then blast it with the subtracted difference to get the conductive ball to roll around.
Yes.
I was wondering if it would be possible to, instead of measuring these subtle frequencies, to simply pick a frequency range and blast the ball with that frequency and experiment with different linear frequencies, or just like a linear sweep and a combination sweep, to see if we could get it to roll around without actually measuring it in the first place.
Sure.
So if you change just one frequency of the locational variable, does that automatically result in a total change of the location, or are the different subcomponents of the locational variable kind of connected together?
There are subcomponents, which is why in your case the ball would roll around as opposed to simply disappearing at point A and reappearing at point B.
Okay, so
Your technology is not precise enough yet.
precise enough to blast it or precise enough to measure it?
It's not precise enough to get it to disappear from point A and appear at point B.
So not, okay.
So the effect would be that it would simply roll from point A to point B and stop.
Okay, so the frequency that we blast the object with, does it have to be close enough to one of the constituent frequencies that the object already has, or can it literally be any frequency, say below 400 cycles per second?
No. You are making the object resonate and measuring that frequency in one location and then moving it to the second location, making the object resonate and measuring that frequency and then measuring the difference between them.
Right, but because our equipment isn't sensitive enough to measure the those types of vibrations yet, or you're unsure if
No, it is. It is. That's why we gave you the experiment.
Okay,
You just have to use sophisticated equipment.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to share an observation that I made about frequency harmonics.
Yes.
So if you take this value of 3.69303 megahertz, so synchronistic numbers, and you repeatedly step it down with golden ratio increments using divisions, then we encounter a lot of important frequencies, for example, 333 kilohertz, and also the heart and the root solfeggio frequencies, 639 and 396 cycles per second. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about this harmonic and potential applications of it?
Nope.
Okay, then I'll ask more.
Not our job at the moment.
Okay. So you wouldn't be able to tell me if this highest frequency is the necessary frequency for the outermost shell of the Essassani free energy device?
We are no longer allowed to comment on the information we have given about the free energy devices at this time.
Okay, thank you for establishing that. I was wondering, at this point, how far above Bell Rock is your ship?
700 feet.
Still 700. Okay,
Yes.
Wonderful.
You are clapping as if you could reach up and touch us.
Okay, so from a linear standpoint, I was wondering what percent of the people in this room have what would seem to be a future incarnation as a member of the Essassani?
39%.
39%, wow. Am I one of the 39%?
Since you asked, yes.
Wonderful. So,
It doesn't mean that you're in my contemporary time frame.
okay, so different timeline, but same civilization.
Yes.
Okay,
In
so
which the counterpart is, in fact, a technician.
a technician. Wonderful. Yeah, that would make sense. I was wondering.
Maybe you can ask him the questions that you're asking.
I would love that opportunity, yes. I was wondering, I know you said that this will decrease my frequency, but just so I know, I was wondering if you could give me a frequency reading as well.
I know you said this will hurt, but I was just wondering.
I can take the pain.
139,000 cycles per second.
All right.
It was 143,000.
Okay. All right.
Say ouch.
All right. That will be all for now for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love